trying to hammer as a conspiracy theorist and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just outraged. You got to watch this. I sent it to you so you can post it. It says Clint from Las Vegas.
Okay.
And one of these bimbos actually, they asked him, why did you pick 63? And he said, because in 1963, when our president was murdered in a coup d'etat. And those, the other ones act like they just never heard of this before. And one of the bimbos goes to Jesse, goes, well, what's the big deal? Even if we're moving along, I mean, what's the big deal about it? And Jesse said, well, if you can murder a president in broad daylight and get away with it, you can do just about anything, can't you?
Yep.
And they just seemed so shocked that he thought, had his questions about 9/11, and they just seemed so shocked.
Well, Jesse missed a really good opportunity there, because what he should have said to them is, your inability to comprehend that this could be real is why they get away with it. You're trapped, you're imprisoned, you're enslaved by your own belief that our government would never do something like that. And that is why they're able to get away with it. Your failure to accept the possibility is making you an accessory after the fact to the crime.
A few of these internationalists who are trying to create a one world, they can't possibly imprison us physically. They have to, control our heads, and that's another one.
Absolutely. No, before you go any further, I want to agree with you. You're absolutely right. That's why I'm always saying beliefs are chains that hold free mind slaves. No chain of steel or iron ever bound a human being tighter than the chains made up of beliefs, including this belief that we have a benevolent government, this belief that the Federal Reserve private central banking system is the only way we're supposed to live our lives, and we know that that's not true. All of these beliefs that we're indoctrinated with, since we were children, the communists are bad, and now, of course, the new one, the Muslims are bad. We're taught to believe things without knowing them to be true, and to allow beliefs to dominate our thought processes rather than facts and logic. As children, we're bribed to allow beliefs to rule us. Believe in the fat guy in the red suit from the North Pole, you get a bicycle. Believe in the bunny rabbit, you get candy. Believe in the tooth fairy, you get money. Constantly the message from childhood is, don't use your brain, don't think, don't evaluate, just believe as you're taught to believe, and you will get all goodies for the rest of your life. And that is the brainwashing under which we are all enslaved, and it's time to let that go. Beliefs are bad. All belief is bad. Don't believe in anything. Look, evaluate, decide for yourself. Don't let beliefs trick you away from the real world.
It's been about 5 years since I learned about the Federal Reserve, and boy, when I learned about it, they can't do that.
They sure
get away
can.
With that?
No, they.
And it's worse than what I thought. Was told then. And I also want to ask about Glenn Beck when he did a show on the bankers, and I believe Alex Jones said, well, I think we can expect him to go by the wayside here soon. Bankers are not going to like that. And, he exposed him as a privately owned, run-for-profit banking system.
Yep.
Did a whole show on it. And that was when Alex Jones the next day came out. Well, I think we could kiss him goodbye. And sure enough, today, that's came out in the news.
He's gone. And, I don't agree with everything Glenn Beck ever said, but he did have the courage of his convictions. And there are a few of them out there who understand the times are a-changing. And you cannot just go on spouting the same lies to the people and expect them to respond to it. Glenn Beck and Dylan Ratigan, and to a lesser degree, I'm blanking on her name. What?
Judge Negroponte.
Well, no, the other one. Well, anyway, the point is there are a few individuals within the media who understand they better start telling the truth to the American people, or they're going to lose the rest of their audience. I mean, Fox News has lost 21% of their viewers just in the last year. Okay, and the people at Fox who are trying to reverse that are trying to reverse it by honestly reporting the news, and of course they get punished. They get punished for not continuing to tell the lies. And, we all know the end result of it. We're going to see these big media corporations are going to start demanding government bailouts to make up for the lost advertising revenues, and then of course it'll become government-managed TV news, and nobody will pay attention to it. It'll be shoved down our throats. It already is. You cannot order cable TV service without the official propaganda channels, bundled into the deal.
Our taxpayers are already subsidizing, mainstream media.
Oh yeah, to a very, very large extent. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get absolutely worse here.
And I'm going to ask one more thing and let you evaluate what you think. I think Ron Paul made a big mistake, kind of snubbing the truth movement, the 9/11 truth movement in the last campaign, and I think he can at least just say, well, I have my questions about it, and I think people have the right to, think for themselves.
I would agree with you. But I think the reason that Ron Paul chose the course he did last election is he's not, he's a politician, and what he's trying to do is work within the beliefs of the majority of the voters. And at that time, 2008. The majority of voters were still not willing to admit that they had doubts about 9/11, not openly. A lot of them did privately, but in public they were still like saying, oh no, of course it was Arab Muslims who did it. The climate is a little different right now, and we may see Ron Paul adopt more of a, we need to take a closer look at these situations. But Ron Paul is mostly focused on our economy, and I agree with him that it is much more important that we deal with the abuses of the Federal Reserve.
Cut the taproot.
Yeah, absolutely there, because that is affecting all of our lives continually today, and 9/11 is beginning to sort of fade into history, so we need to triage our political issues. But again, I think Trump is there to try and make the birth certificate the big issue, and, so forth and so on. Anyway, going to let you go, Clint. We got to take a break here for some commercials, and when we come back, we'll be talking with Joe in Pennsylvania. So the magic music should be starting right about now, according to my brand new show clock here, which is probably working no better than the old one. And we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Estrogen dominance, a brand new 20th century disease, a phrase coined by Dr. John R. Lee 35 years ago. Dr. Lee proved that all the estrogen that is coming from food and water is having a devastating effect on our health. The rapid rise in breast cancer, uterine cancer, prostate cancer, weight gain, osteoporosis, feminizing of our boys, and early puberty of our girls, and also the destruction of natural killer cell function. Natural killer cells are our protection from cancer and viral infection. Dr. Lee found that using natural progesterone about 10 milligrams per day would not only reverse osteoporosis, but would greatly reduce the cancer issues as well as dozens of other health challenges we face today. Visit our website, healthlinkAmerica.com, to order the DVD on hormone imbalance. Learn how hormone imbalance destroys the immune system and get started on natural progesterone and Cyto-S. It will not only change your life, it may in fact save your life. Once again, that website is healthlinkAmerica.com.
Are skyrocketing prescription costs draining your budget? If you don't have insurance or are taking medication not covered by insurance, the Powerhouse Savings Card can lower your prescription costs by up to 50%. Now you and your family can save 20 to 50% on all prescriptions. It's accepted by most pharmacies and mail-order pharmacies nationwide. No prescription card is easier to use. Just show your card and save 20 to 50% right on the spot. There are no monthly fees, just a one-time processing fee of only $4.95 for you and your immediate family. Stop paying full price for prescriptions. Stop going without the medication you need because it costs too much. Now your family can get the prescriptions they need at a cost you can afford. Call 1-800-963-0232 now and start saving money with the Powerhouse Savings Card. Call 1-800-963-0232. 1-800-963-0232. 1-800-963-0232.
Do you know the truth about cancer treatments? Do you realize that with all presently accepted methods, you are not correctly attacking the cancer and you are mostly fighting to survive the treatment? Do you realize that mutilating surgery, Burning and poisoning of your entire system are totally unnecessary, but now it's cancer's turn to die with LaysMed Incorporated's patented methodology. Without cutting, bleeding, drugs, or damaging radiation, we can destroy skin cancer and breast tumors of any size without adverse side effects at our physician's office. Laser technology at its best. For more information, visit www.laysmedinc.com on the web. That's www.lasemedinc.com.
Call now, 501-255-0528. 501-255-0528. 501-255-0528.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero. You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. Here we're going to go to the phones. Joe in Pennsylvania. Aloha, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Aloha, Mike. On the Obama birther situation, I have a little bit of a different take on it.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that Obama is...
Remember what I told you about beliefs? Remember what I told you about beliefs?
Okay,
all right. What have you got for me?
Semantic, but I mean, based on things that I've heard that I think are factual. One thing about it is that Obama, he says he went to Columbia, and nobody has any... I mean, he can't even prove he went to Columbia University, for crying out loud, which is absurd. I mean, there's nobody there who claims to have seen him when he was there, so...
Well, he may have lied about his education. That, in and of itself, does not disqualify him from being... I mean, look how much he lied about, his campaign promises to run in 2008. We know the man's a liar. There is absolutely no question about that.
But any politician is. But here's my take on it, that he isn't qualified in that sense. But his handlers who helped him, and let's face it, he could pull off something like that easily because the people who wanted him in power
No, he couldn't pull it off that easily because the people who want him out of power, like the people running against him, would have used it. And I know hang on, Joe, one of the birther arguments that they're trying to basically refute this idea that Hillary or McCain would have used this against Obama is they're all agreeably working for some great Illuminati overlord that we never see. And that, of course, is complete and utter nonsense. We all know how ruthless Hillary Clinton is, going all the way back to when, the Rose Law Firm and some of that stuff going on here. Hillary Clinton's never going to obey an order to not mention something that would disqualify her main competition in the primary season. I mean, we know. Hang on. We know that elections were being rigged. We know that the New Hampshire primary got rigged to save Hillary Clinton. Now, if she's going to do that, then she's playing to win, and she's not going to obey an order to not mention the fact that Barack Obama is not qualified to be the president. Okay, so you can get that one out of your eye. They're not all working for some agreeable super situation. It is the United States government was set up intentionally so that there would be these little factions holding each other in check. It's not just the separation of powers between the legislature, the Congress, and the executive. It is an intentional design to have all these various parties vying for control in order to keep each other in check.
Well, as far as there's a few things. As far as Hillary not being, or Hillary and McCain, all these not being some power, I disagree. I think that if there's one entity that runs this country, it would be the Rothschilds, and they're the ones.
Now, Joe, come on, enough. Joe, thank you for the call. Goodbye. One of the biggest propaganda tricks that the people who are trying to bamboozle you is there's always some great villain out there that you can never find and never reach, and they're the ones who are all to blame for all that is going wrong in your life. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Templars, the Rothschilds. And I know the Rothschilds are out there and they own a lot of the world, and they're not exactly humanitarian people, okay? But all that we need to understand what's gone wrong with the United States of America is inside the borders of the United States of America. And it has to do with the greed of the private central bankers and the corruptibility of our elected leaders and their willingness to sell you out to a foreign power. But we don't need to go looking for some mythical, evil empire out there to which everybody is subordinate. Remember, never attribute to malice what is explainable by accident, stupidity, and greed. And that's what's going on here. Now, this birth certificate nonsense, I conclude, I shouldn't use the word believe, I just violated my own rule. I conclude